Hello, everyone, and welcome into Pi Day, March 14th. So today is Thursday, and let's take a look and see what all messages want to come through for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. Hopefully you have a chance to get yourself some pie later today. But let's go ahead and jump in. Remember, as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. In the description box below, you'll see the link to your individual groupings read for the day, and that'll happen. I'll do that going grouping by grouping after I do a little bit of the general read here. So, all right, let's see what wants to come through. We have our Nine of Swords in reverse, we have our Seven of Cups, and then we have our Six of Swords. So overall, energetically, we have a little bit of a sense of like you're reaching out for help. So there's this challenge or this obstacle or something that you're struggling with, and you are looking to get some help on it. Like you're trying to kind of maintain that hope and see, okay, how is it that I move past this energy that I'm in? With our Seven of Cups energy, that's because like that's that indecisiveness. She has all these different options to choose from, and so it's like you're trying to find somebody who can help you navigate which direction you should be going. Then with our Six of Swords, this is like this positive change, and you're moving on. So it's a good positive message that yes, you have all these choices, but you're wanting to move on it. You're wanting to say, okay, if I have these choices, what do I need to do? How do I need to go about making a decision? I'm going to rely on maybe some outside assistance, and then the moving on part. So the important part with that is that it definitely has a feel of being decisive and taking some sort of action. Like not, oh my gosh, I have all these options, I'm just going to sit here and swirl around in indecision for the next month while I try to figure out what to do. This is more of the okay, reaching out for help. And also remember, and I think this came up in maybe yesterday's reading, maybe the reading before, that sometimes if you cast too broad of a net when you're asking for help, you're going to get every single possible answer to it. Some people in this extreme and this extreme, and sometimes it becomes information overload. So with this card, like seeking help, I would say that's like seeking the help of maybe one or two trusted sources, whether you have a best friend or a parent, or depending on the nature of what you're looking at, some sort of an advisor that's going to help you on that, as opposed to taking massive polls where you're going to get all sorts of information, so it's hard to wade through. Oh, and also the readings for the second half of the month will be posting, so make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell in order to be alerted to those. So those will be posting today, tomorrow, kind of that sort of time frame. All right, let's start today with our air signs. That is our Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What wants to come through for you? The World. So this is that card about wrapping up a cycle. There's some lesson that you were supposed to be learning, or whatever the lesson was that you were working on, and now you're at a point of wrapping it up. So this goes really beautifully with this, that you're sitting in a place where you have maybe multiple options as to how you could proceed or respond or address the situation. You're taking decisive action, you're asking for help, and then you're making that decision and moving on. And that's what's going to complete this cycle for you. So beautiful energy there. And that's a successful completion of that cycle. Then we have success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So that's funny, just because I literally said successful completion as I was pulling the card. So with that, where it says there's no greater goal than to love, the idea of, okay, I'm responding in love to this situation. I'm not going to try to control it. I'm not going to try to, push somebody into doing something they don't want to do. I'm going to sit in that energy of high vibrational, unconditional love, and that will bring me a successful, peaceful, happy feeling. All right. And your Gaia card, rising above, clarity, freedom, and solution. So again, this is that sense of, if you have multiple ways that you can respond to something, which is, what the Seven of Cups is, this multiple options, and you're looking at it with a sense of clarity, and you're looking at it, okay, how can I find the best solution to this? What is a freeing response? A freeing response for you as well as anybody else involved in the situation, so that everybody can live kind of their best life. And that's going to be where you're going to see the success. Look at the colors in here. That's where you're going to see the success, and where you're going to see that you're up leveling, is because you're looking for a solution that's a mature, I've learned this lesson that I'm supposed to be learning. I'm sitting in a place of peace and freedom and handling the situation accordingly. And then our Sufi Wisdom Oracle. Limitation is power. Lean into your limitations. And so if you feel like, and with this card, this came out in a personal reading I was doing for somebody yesterday, and it's interesting because my first thought was limitation is power. And then as I was digging into the card and looking at it, it's that sense of whatever you think you're limited by, lean into that and understand, why do I feel like I'm limited by this? And looking at it to see what the potential is, and what is the lesson? If you feel like you're limited in, take your job, for example, you're limited, you don't have any growth potential, you're getting passed up for raises or promotions, you're not happy with the environment. If you feel like you're limited, then look at that from a position of power and say, okay, what lesson am I supposed to be learning from this? What am I learning about myself in terms of how I feel about certain restrictions being placed on me? And is that something that I'm okay with once I've molded over and understand it? Or if I'm not okay with it, then what do I do to move past it? And that's where you start to see the power part. Leaning into your limitations, and saying, okay, but I don't want to have that limitation. And sometimes if you think about it from a physical fitness perspective of, I'm limited, I can't run 2 miles. Well, lean into that and train and figure out, well, what do I need to do to get myself into a position where I can run 2 miles and not feel like I'm going to keel over and die? So, and the same can be said with emotional things, spiritual things. Where do I feel like there's blockages, and what can I do to lean into that and move past it? So that is the message for our air signs. You're rising above it. Whatever you felt like was kind of holding you back before, you're leaning into it, and you're succeeding in rising above whatever limitations you felt like you had. All right, now we are on to our fire signs, which is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And let's see what wants to come out for you today. The Fool. So this is the beginning of something new. This is the beginning of a new cycle for you, kind of that fresh new start. And that looks like, on the heels of, you've been thinking about this decision, asking for help, and then moving on. This is the card that says, yes, you're moving on to something new. You're starting something different. You've closed out whatever this cycle is, and now you're getting a fresh look at something. You're getting a fresh start, something new coming your way. And, with the Fool, it's also that open-minded energy. So in the, what's a couple there? In that Rider-Waite deck, the Fool is getting ready to step off the edge of the cliff, and he has, I'm not sure there's a name for it, but like the old style hobos that have the stick and then they have the little bag on the end of the stick. They're not bringing a lot of baggage with them into whatever this new thing is. They've learned what they need to learn, and it's almost like, okay, fresh slate, starting something different. So the 2 cards that jumped here, it was happiness and service. So for happiness, it says, I am aware that being happy means I'm on the right path. And service, I feel good when I can help others. So in terms of jumper cards, look at how perfect that looks from a color perspective. So you've got all this happiness here that's around Data, and the service part is down here. So he is in service to others. I mean, actually, that's what Data was built for. So he's in service to others, and then he ends up getting surrounded by this happiness. And so remember, happiness has a certain vibration, and leaning into that will help you get onto the right path. Like, you can feel it. It says, I'm aware that being happy means I am on the right path, because you were not incarnated here to suffer and to struggle. This is not a prison sentence. This isn't, all right, well, let's go incarnate down on earth and, spend 75 years being, god awful miserable. That's not what the point is. The point is to learn lessons and to learn how to thrive and be happy. And so when you're on the right path, you can feel it. It feels different. Like, instead of waking up every day, what's today going to hold for me? And having that sort of, it's another day. There's that happiness, that excitement. And then with the service part about helping others, it's, what is it that you're doing in your daily life that brings you joy helping others? Maybe it's something, maybe it's direct healing. If you're a healer, if you're a massage therapist, if you're a doctor, if you're a psychiatrist, something like that. But also look at all the other things that you can do to help people. Maybe you're a driver who helps, take people to doctor's appointments or meetings, or, and that's helping those people that couldn't get around. Maybe you're a landscaper and you create beautiful, peaceful homes for people, so when they get home, it looks nice and it gives them that sense of sanctuary. So in terms of being of service to other people, it's beyond just, I volunteer at a soup kitchen once a month. Like, there's ways that you can be of service to people in your everyday life. If you're if you lay carpet for a living, you're helping make people feel happy and cozy in their own home. So that's something that's of service to other people. All right. And also remember, with North Node being in Aries right now, and that's one of you guys out there, fire signs, that's really about standing in your truth and being unapologetically you. So standing in your truth means choosing your path of happiness. Intuitive communication, silent whispers of the heart. So this is something some of you might be working on, telepathy, and working on communicating, especially if you're in, for example, like a twin flame dynamic. A lot of twins have some sense of telepathy. So whether that's, I've heard some twins talking about, like, they can literally hear conversations that are happening around their twin, that sort of deep level of telepathy. Sometimes it's more of just a feeling where all of a sudden they feel the presence of their other person. So listen to some of those intuitive communications. If you can quiet your mind and listen to your heart, you can intuitively hear and feel other people around you and feel the messages from the universe trying to come in. And that also helps guide you on your journey, and it helps with finding that happiness. Ooh, that one started to come out. Life's purpose, and I'll pull another one. Open mind. Okay, so let's take a look at these one by one. Life's purpose. Seek your own deeper vision for life. So again, that's going into that, that Fool card of, you're in a place where you're getting ready to start something new. So look and see, what is your purpose? Like I said, you're not here this is not a prison sentence. Lean into, what are your gifts? What do you have that you can share with the world? And then open mind. Replace the old cycle with a new and exciting one. And this one too, this is such a strong message coming through here on looking at starting something new from a place of happiness, from a place of, how can I wake up in the morning and feel good about what I'm doing with my day? How can I affect the world around me and make it a more positive place? So this is an absolutely beautiful message for fire signs, for our Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So, all right. Now we are on to our earth signs. So earth signs is our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see what wants to come through for you for today. Temperance. So this is sitting in that balance and finding that kind of harmony, and you're not getting too high, not getting too low. You're just kind of seeing how things are unfolding and letting them unfold without passion or prejudice, and just kind of seeking what is that inner wisdom, like kind of what is the point of all of this, and observing it. Okay. Freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So as you're sitting here looking, earth signs, as you're looking at what are these choices, what direction do I want to go, and then you're picking which one you want to go for and moving on, it's like you're picking it from this kind of even keel place. So rather than allowing yourself to emotionally or frantically cling to something because this is what I know. Okay, that's what you know, but why do you know it? Do you know it because you've been afraid to make other choices throughout your life? Or is it that you know that place because that is just the best place in the world for you? So being fair, being open-minded in how you're looking at it, and being objective as well. So there's definitely a sense of stepping back and saying, okay, big picture wise, is this really what's bringing me happiness? Does this really feel like this is my life path? Or is it something different? I have the ability to create my own happiness. I'm sorry, a little bit of a dry throat. Okay. Alrighty, let's take a look at our Gaia card. Purification by fire. All right. Bare essentials, the naked truth, and wholeness. Sorry about that. I could feel a little bit of a coughing spell coming on there. Okay, so purification by fire, bare essentials, the naked truth, and wholeness. So this purification by fire is going to result in you being free. So with that, I visually, think about it as you have to burn something to the ground in order to build something new. And there's two cards in this deck. There's purification by water and there's purification by fire. And so for some of you, it could also be a fire sign that you're being, that fire sign is there to teach you a lesson and kind of, I guess, go down to the bare essentials and the naked truth in that situation with that fire sign and see what it is that you really want, because that situation could be something that needs to change in order to give you that freedom. And again, remember from the beginning part of the reading, reaching out and asking for help so that you can make a decision and do it swiftly and stick with it. Because also, if you're asking a trusted person that will give you good unbiased advice. So if you have, say it's a job and you're trying to figure out, should I leave this job? It's really important to me. Well, if you ask somebody who is your best friend, who's also the owner of the company that you work at, it's probably not really the best person to ask for unbiased advice, because, if they're your best friend, they probably want to see you at work all the time. And if they own the company, it would be bad for them if you left, if you're a good employee. So something like that. Or if you have, if it's a relationship thing and you have that best friend that's always, kind of like fanatical, crazy, that every time you come to them, it's like, oh, you should just, do this. But are they really thinking it through, or do they just parrot whatever they think you want to hear? So when you're asking people for advice, make sure it's somebody that you trust and that you think can help you see the situation clearly. Because remember, temperance is about not being overly emotional. It's about having that balanced, harmonious approach to it. And so, that's kind of like pulling yourself out of it and saying, what creates the most harmony for everybody? What creates the best scenario for everybody? So make sure that you're asking an advisor that can help you see it from that perspective. And then it says, make a change, welcome change into your life. So this really looks like this purification that's happening. It is that scenario of, let's burn something to the ground so we can build something better in its place. So it's about letting go. And then with the Temperance card in there, it's kind of that sense of, don't cling to something that needs to be let go, whether that's a person, a situation, or a belief. Because sometimes our beliefs are what keep us in situations where we really shouldn't be there anymore. And that can take a lot of, I'll call it soul searching and deep healing. If you're looking at it like, what are generational patterns? Maybe nobody in your family has ever gotten a divorce before. So there's that sense of, well, of course you don't do that. Why would you do that? But you're just miserable and you don't want to be there. But it's that sense of, well, but I can't because nobody in my family has gotten a divorce. Sometimes those are the types of changes that, are difficult to make, but that there's a physical change, but there's also the change in the belief, like that I have to stay in a certain situation. So that was our message for Earth signs, which was our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Now we are on to our final signs. We have our water signs, and that is going to be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So let's see what wants to come through for you. The Devil. So this, beware as you're looking at making this decision. Beware that you have this devil energy pushing on you. And your devil energy is going to be anything that is keeping you off your path, off your highest good. It's those temptations, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, shopping, overeating, gambling, but it can also be procrastination. It can also be laziness. It can also be lying, or whether it's lying to yourself or lying to other people. It can be being a people pleaser and not really standing up for yourself. So it's whatever is keeping you from your highest timeline. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. And it's interesting because the friendship has, it's matching up with some of that devil energy. So you do have friendships and they're in your life for a reason. But just based on the way those colors are falling, be mindful of who, are there certain friends of yours that carry that devil energy with them? Like if you're trying to, say you're trying to be good about eating healthy and they're always the one calling you up, let's go out for drinks. Let's go out for ice cream. Let's have this big pizza party. And they know that you're trying to watch what you eat, and they're, they're having this, chocolate fondue fountain, like let's go sit at that for 30 minutes. Be careful of friendships. I mean, friendships are very important, but be mindful of if there's some of your friends that possess that devil energy right now. I'm not saying be suspicious of all of your friends, but just be mindful. Loss. Grief, sadness, and resurrection. So water signs, it looks like for you, this situation, it might be a tough situation that you're dealing with in terms of walking away from something, and your friendships are going to be helpful. And when it says they're in your life for a reason, that reason can be to either help build you up or to help show you where some of your areas of self-improvement might be. So take a look and see which of your friends sit in which kind of role in your life. All of them are very important roles though. So even if a friend, and maybe that's the friend that they're always calling you like, oh, hey, I got arrested. Can you come bail me out of jail? Even if it's a friendship like that feels one-sided, there's a lesson there about, okay, well, do I need to set different boundaries? Or if this person is really not at the same vibration level as me, why am I hesitant to let that person go or let that situation drift? Is it because I'm afraid that, oh, I can't do any better than that? Or, so keep that in mind as well as you're looking at that situation. Happy life, live a less guarded life. So, so that's kind of going with this devil energy a little bit, color wise, about living a happy life. So there might be that temptation to give into this devil energy because you think that's what's going to pull you down the path of a happy life, but that is going to cause you more loss if that's not what's in your highest good. So make sure that you're doing a lot of meditating, grounding, maybe even look at doing like the white light bubble of protection, meditations, just to kind of help keep your energy more focused on you to be able to navigate through the day. So I hope you found this message to be helpful, but as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. And make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when new videos are posting. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.